Hey, y'all. We're going to have to move inside in just a minute, but I'm finishing my cigarette. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late, but I was looking some stuff up and my head hurts. Discombobulated. I just saw somebody put that in the chat, and that's probably exactly how I feel. So let's get into this because we're going to review Bullhorn Beddy. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you guys are all having a good day so far. Hey, Pika. Hey, Captain. Angel. Hold on. Okay. Let me. Hey, Fred. Chatty, discombobulated. Steph. I love your name, discombobulated. Where a chicken can cross the road without having its motives questioned. Well, cock-a-doodle-doo. We're going to question all the motives here. Hey, Flower Nana. Donna. Andy C. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Hey, Bombs Becca. Hey, Janice. Teresa. Eastern Girls. Kentucky Cooter. Dirty French. Marcy. Am. Chico's. Rockabit. Hopefully I'll be back on to like a normal daytime, morning, early afternoon schedule now. Hey, Jay. Hey, Diana. I was actually working on something else when Beddy went live, and I was like, what the heck? Don't have sticker shock, right? We're going to talk about that. Hey, Miss Liverbird. Tracy. Hey, Tracy. I saw your comments after my stream last night. I just wanted to, I wasn't talking to you. I'm sorry that you took it as I was or anything last night. I mentioned who I was talking about. You might have missed that part or maybe misunderstood, but I wasn't talking about you or anybody. Like, that applied to a very specific group of people, and I'm sorry that if anybody took it personal. Hey, Laura. Hey, Stella. LK, I haven't seen you in forever. It's good to see you. Becky with the God hair, sending good karma. Emily. Revival. You got all sorts of stuff going on. Hey, Trish. Tooth Fairy. Y'all, she's just giving the content. I'm back in New York groove, baby. I'm back. Helen's back. She's really not Bombs Becca. She's really not. Hey, Kareen. Duty Ron stream was great. Lenore, I'm sorry that you can't enjoy lives anymore. Tooth Fairy. All right, let's just go. Let's get into this. Okay. So this is all under fair use. This is based on Beddy's own words, what she put out here. I just want to talk about it because there's a lot going on. Hey, Thor. All right, let's go.
Huge too. It's emerald, right?
Oh,
absolutely my favorite in the whole world. And I didn't think these things could be any better than they are.
Okay. She's going to bless us with eating this morning. We're going to speed her up.
Until yesterday. My mom got emerald nuts. They were the honey nut cashew package. They had to buy one like a
Tracy, don't apologize at all. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to lecture anybody. It just was a very simple situation that got added to, blown up, and twisted and turned into, like, there's so much. I could walk it through with timestamps and everything, and I think a lot of people missed what was going on, and didn't know because there was just so, including myself. That's why I went and looked into it. And I was just really frustrated because it continues to happen with these small situations. And instead of people just like taking accountability or saying, oh, that didn't happen and moving on from it, it gets blown in and added to and added to, and then it gets twisted that it was just a whole mess. And I'm sorry that it came across as a lecture. It really wasn't that intent. It was just kind of this is what it simply is, and this is what it turned into. And anyways, but I apologize that you took it that way. I didn't mean for that to come across that way at all. I usually do pretty good at naming names, and I thought I did, but sorry, guys. We're having a side conversation here. Okay. All right.
Bogle at Publix. And so she got those, and we mixed this with those honey cashews. Oh, those things were huge too. It's emerald, right? And then we took Crunch Bar. You guys know the Hershey Crunch Bar, and like cut it up and made little, almost like little square chips, and put it in there and made like a trail mix. Holy crap! We won't tell. I know my mom's probably watching. We won't tell her that I spilled a little chocolate on the bed, but she won't know about it because I got up in the middle of the night and cleaned it up.
Yeah, she's at her mom's. Look at her shirt. Mommy, why wasn't I good enough? It is the start of Quentin Simon's, the trial for Quentin Simon, his unfortunate tragedy. Well, it's Leilani Simon's trial, I should say, but that's why she's wearing the shirt.
I didn't get into the trail mix in the middle of the night or anything like that. It's just, I would never stuff my face in the middle of the night. Listen to this. I got a call. Like when things aren't bad enough, it's like my whole yard is trashed. We took pictures of that whole thing. Do you know the trailer park behind me took their metal and dumped it in my yard? So now I've got a call. My neighbor saw them, captured them on film.
I'm sorry. This whole thing just drives me nuts when people do this. So many people have gone through hurricanes. Living in Florida, this is a common thing for these people. And I'm not trying to diminish like how horrific it is, but it's kind of a way of life. Like when she wants to turn it on and off, she does. It's always look at her, poor her. They dumped this, they did that, they did this. Her power's out, her streets flooded. Meanwhile, everybody else is really suffering with a lot of loss, a lot of damage. Like, be grateful for the small things, but she never is. And it just drives me nuts. I mean, I don't know.
So now I got to call code enforcement and have them come out and fine them for illegal dumping. Illegal dumping. Who does that? Just starts throwing something in some random person's freaking yard. Oh, thank you.
But has she even been home to verify that this is even true?
Holly, yes, it's Manic Monday. Some exciting news. I can't wait. Hopefully, at the end of the month, I'm going to be seeing Olivia. We'll see if that's possible. Many of you guys know I'm kind of bad here in this county. The hurricane, this last one really did, we were already impacted by Helene, majorly impacted by Helene. So when Helene, even though it hit further up north, when it hit our area, the bands of it had such high storm surge in my area, even though it was hundreds of miles away. It destroyed Anna Maria Island and Holmes Beach, as well as, property damage throughout, like fences falling down, trees down, power lines, the normal stuff that comes with that.
People losing their lives, people losing everything that they have, people still missing.
Powerful storm. It was a Category 5 when it hit. And the actual size of that storm was so huge. It covered almost all of Florida. There was hardly anybody that wasn't affected by Helene. Out on the road, just like me, all the damage was brought out to our roads. We had garbage, mounds and mounds of high garbage, of debris, trees, fencing, and all this on all of our roads across the county. And they didn't have time to clean that up before.
That's her background, not mine.
Milton hit. And so it made all of that debris.
Oh, and one other thing, I apologize for the audio issues last night. I didn't realize on my end how significant it was, but re-listening to a little bit of it, I'm really sorry about that. I will make sure that doesn't happen again.
Basically flying objects in the storm. Well, when Milton hit, it already took a very battered county and made it 10 times worse, like many other people up and down, our neighboring counties.
I love to sit outside, but sometimes the wind is too much.
This hit about 14 miles. The actual eye of the storm was only about 14 to 20 miles away from my home. So it would be perceived that almost the eye of the storm, the eye wall, was over our county, because that's how close we are to Siesta Key. And I've got to tell you, the damage that was done by this last hurricane and all the.
Notice the title. Clear Seth Rogers, Sebastian Rogers' Life Matters, Tennessee. We're 4 minutes in.
Tornadoes was really, really bad. We have a lot of loss of life. One is too many. You know, one person losing their life. Yeah, we're not going to do anything with the trolls. Let them go. Hey, good morning, Steph. Good morning.
She needs the
Let
engagement.
them go. If there's somebody that bothers you, you can always hit the button on the side where they're next to their name, and you can go ahead and block those people yourself and never have to ever worry about ever seeing them in another chat again. So go ahead and use your own personal blocking for that. But I am just going to keep it rolling because this stuff is needed for me. So just let the
She wants people to go in and troll her so she can play the victim.
trolls do whatever they're going to do. We're going to be capturing all that on the back end. So you're you know, if it's too much for you, just block them yourselves. But I need to see who it is and what have you. You guys know we're in multiple litigation issues right now, so I can't block the trolls. I need the analytics from the trolls for the stuff I need for court. So
that means if you have a brain, don't go in there and talk shit because that's what she wants.
if you want to know why we're not blocking them, that's why. So anyways, we got the dumping. I got to call code enforcement. I was on the phone with them, and I just got to call them back at this point, and I'm probably gonna have to meet them at the house. We did start getting some pricing from the attorneys. And it looks like up front, you know, we're going to need to raise a little bit of funds. I'm not sure how we're going to handle that. So we're not going to initiate that just right yet, probably this week.
Okay, let's listen to that one more time. Okay. And the reason for it is coming up.
Raise a little bit of funds. I'm not sure how we're going to handle that. So we're not going to initiate that just right yet, probably
We're not going to initiate it just right yet. Okay. But we need to raise funds
this week for funding. I do want to let you know, by the grace of beautiful people out there that have been, you know, helping along the way this point, we have about over $2,000 in the coffers right now, and we will be raising some more money to get certain stuff, you know, reinvigorated as far as funding. This is going to be a costly process that we're going to.
So she's raised $2,000, or she has $2,000 in the coffers. I'm not really sure, because last time she was trying to raise money for attorney's fees to pay back whoever paid for those initial attorney's fees. Now she's got $2,000 sitting in coffers. I've got questions, and we're going to get into it in a minute.
Go through, and it's going to be a lengthy process that we're going to go through. So we're going to try to make it as palatable as absolutely possible until we are successful and righted. You know, this wrong is righted. So that's where we're at right now. I heard you.
We. Who's we?
Judy Ron had a lot to say about Bullhorn Beddy. If that doesn't show you anything about how stupid and unprepared and how this alleged investigator doesn't know how to investigate squat, it's very telling that obviously he has a bias. We don't have anything to do with Judy Ron. Occasionally he has some things to say that I like because he's a law enforcement personality. But at the end,
he's a law enforcement personality, aka he's actually an ex-law enforcement professional. I like Duty Ron. I like Duty Ron a lot. Duty Ron's live stream, I've shared it in my community tab. I encourage you to go watch it. He calls her bullshit Beddy. He was straight up about what's going on. He's right that people like himself and Ed, their names are tarnished because they are true crime. And these people like Beddy, BJ, CJ, T-Rev all claim that they're true crime. No, they're not. No, they're not. There's a very clear distinction.
End of the day, if he can't see the forest for the trees, then he's no good at all. And considering that he hasn't even done one scintilla of research on the real facts, that shows me he's not.
He hasn't done one scintilla of research on the facts. Meanwhile, he had Equisearch, Twyla and Dave on his channel who were out there, boots on the ground, doing extensive searches alongside law enforcement. But he hasn't done one research on the facts. Okay. Even though he's covered it numerous times. And he sticks to covering the facts.
Not very good at his job. He's not a very good detective, because one thing detectives are supposed to do is research, and research well, right? And
that's what I was actually doing. I was working on a T-Rev 757 segment because T-Rev is back and better than ever. And that's facetious as all get out for those of you that don't know. I covered T-Rev April 1st when he started messing around in this case. And I think I'm going to go through and show you guys a little history there. But he is now he's done 2 spirit box sessions over the last 3 days on his paranormal channel, and multiple live streams on his other one, twisting and turning things that have done. So we'll be getting into that too.
And do detective work. So that tells me he's just a fat putz, disgusting person that probably needs to maybe lay off the donuts.
So this is another prime example of when you don't have anything factual to say, you go for their looks, Beddy, their weight, Okay.
And maybe start doing some actual research and investigation before he opens his fat lips. Just my opinion, but I guess
Ooh, she's salty.
his buffoonery has gotten the better of him. So we're going to leave it at that. I think he's a colossal piece of garbage that clearly has shown he doesn't know how to do an investigation. And that's pretty scary if he's this New York detective, right? So I'm going to be looking into his credentialing, which I've never done before, but
Of course, because she doesn't like that he came out and spoke facts against her. She's going to try and discredit him, going after his credentials. Typical Beddy play by play.
we'll be starting to look into his credentialing, because if he's going to come after me, buckle up, Buttercup.
He didn't come after you. He did simple commentary just like the rest of us from a professional standpoint. Somebody that's well respected in the true crime community because he is very factual all the time.
Buckle up, Buttercup. That's all I gotta say.
I really highly doubt he's afraid of you.
Buckle up, Buttercup. And when he goes too far, I'll see him soon. When he goes
Oh, you gonna sue him too, Beddy?
too far, I'll see him soon, and I'll see him in court. Where we don't have a problem with these yahoos and suing them.
You don't have a problem with suing these people, but sounds like you have a problem with suing people or being in court because upcoming you're going to ask your audience to get ready to raise funds for you
So
to the tune of $15,000 to $30,000.
we will be doing that because I'm not allowed to have an opinion of two people that may have unalived their child. But he can have his opinion of me being a psycho, but that's okay. And he doesn't deserve to go to jail, but I do because of my opinion.
Duty Ron has never drove by your house. Duty Ron has not called you and harassed you on the phone. Duty Ron has not kept you under surveillance. Duty Ron has not blamed you for anything but your behavior or talked about your own behavior that you filmed and put out here publicly. Duty Ron has not gone to job sites. Duty Ron has not kept them under surveillance in other states, or you for that matter. He's just reviewing what you put out here publicly. Now, you did all of that to the parents of a missing child. You went by their house. You went by the step parents' house, the Bowersocks. You kept them under surveillance. You jumped out of the middle of traffic and accosted Terry Bowersocks. You threatened to bring a pew-pew, a machete. You've called their son defective, a package. Right in the jump of this, you said you were going to own his RV. You had intent going into this, in my opinion.
He's an idiot. Okay. Pure and simple, a freaking idiot from a piece of shit area. And they probably do piece of shit work. Don't care for him. Don't like him. I could care less what his opinion about me is. You never know.
Obviously, you care a whole lot because you're very unhinged about it and threatening to sue him over his opinion.
He might get to meet me in person with my bullhorn and a sign. Because
oh, typical Beddy. Doesn't get her way. Somebody speaks out against her that's, well respected, and she's throwing her little fit. I'm going to get a sign and a bullhorn and come outside your house and stomp my little feet.
I'm constitutionally allowed to peacefully assemble wherever the hell public property is. And I'm going to stand on that.
Come to Arizona. I encourage you.
But I think he's a piece of garbage and he doesn't do good research. So we're going to get off of that and move on. Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers is a 15-year-old child that disappeared from his home in Hendersonville, Tennessee.
So 9 minutes in, it's all been about her, poor her, wah, wah, wah.
Where he was residing and alone with one person. That one person has done more about trying to shut me up than they have about actually looking for the child that they lost.
Okay, so let's talk about filing a restraining order. So for the victims to file a restraining order, there's no cost until they hire an attorney. When they initially filed, there was no attorney on record. They could have had one. They might have had attorney's fees. She has now been ordered to pay those court fees and attorney's fees. She messed around, didn't show up for court, tried to avoid service, did all of the things. She then shows up. She went to Tennessee numerous times. Then she goes from Florida to Tennessee again for a vigil, where she states after she got arrested and spent 19, miserable, terrifying hours in Sumner County where they tortured her and lowered the temperature of the jail just because she's such a known asset that they were trying to make her miserable, because it's all about Beddy. That's, again, sarcasm. But she the next day said that that was her plan. Her plan was to get arrested. She wanted that all to happen. So why are you crying about all this happening when you wanted this to happen? She asked for media attention to be there. They begged media to live stream it, which they did. 3 orders of protection were put into place for a year. She didn't appeal that within the 10 days allotted time, which it goes, if you appeal, it goes to the circuit court, which she didn't do. This last court hearing, they went in and they filed a dismissal to have all of them dismissed. That was not granted. In fact, the 4th order of protection was put into place for an entire year based on evidence, based on testimony. She was told she has to pay the court fees, their attorney's fees, and she's still going after the family. The judge basically told her they're non-existent to you anymore. And instead of taking that and being okay, moving on, she is throwing a fit. Everybody's corrupt. Sumner County's corrupt. All of the things. You know, typical Beddy.
Neither here nor there. Lied under oath, lied to a judge, and
lied under oath and lied to a judge. Ma'am, the only person we have seen publicly in any of the clips that we've seen lie to a judge was you when you said you had never made contact with Chris Proudfoot.
And tried to have
when you yourself streamed that on your channel.
Did have me arrested and trying to have me locked up because they don't like my commentary. They're literally trying to have me thrown in jail for a year because they don't like the fact that I think they did something to the child.
Actually, the charges, you have 6 violations of protection orders. 6. Each one of those carries a sentencing, a minimum and a maximum. You could be serving more than a year if they were all to be found that you're guilty of. That's upcoming on November 20th. I mean, keep on keeping on. I'm going to pull up a clip right quick.
Never seen me, never spoke to me, never inspired my audience to reach out to them or speak to them. Judy Ron's, yeah, because he's a fat putz that has a platform that finally gets the attention he feels like he needs, and he's a slob. I mean, let's just look at him. He's a freaking slob.
Beddy.
And if this is the best we're going to get out of him, no wonder most of his cases don't get solved.
Man alive, she's triggered. She is so triggered.
Just saying. Who the hell is? I don't know. You don't want to watch him. He's one of these cops that don't believe in First Amendment, don't believe in freedom of press, along with off the cuff. That's why I never promote either one of them. I actually were promoting Judy Ron for a while because of some of the commentary he had on another case. But at this point, if he's going to do this to me, he can kiss my white breaded ass. You know, I really could care less about a fat putz that can't keep the cold cuts out of his mouth. I think he needs to brush his teeth, floss, and maybe do some actual book work. These people don't believe that we have constitutional rights.
Beddy, are you okay? Since when is Judy Ron a slob? Needs to brush his teeth? I've happened to fangirl over Judy Ron a little bit myself. Like, I think he's great. I love Ed.
Rights. You could see it. They have disdain for media. They have.
Oh my God.
All media, not just me. All media. That's why Judy Ron's not really on a whole lot of media. Nobody ever reaches out to him from, say, CNN or Court TV or News Nation. It's because nobody really cares about his opinion. Everybody knows him, like I have learned about him. He's a putz.
Ma'am, you bragged about selling articles to TMZ. Know your lane and stayeth in it.
He's a putz. So I'm going to keep it at that. When he called me a psycho, that's him telling me I have mental. That's defamation per se.
Oh my God.
We'll see what we're going to do with all of his commentary moving forward. But that's not what this is about. This is about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers, not even about my yard. It's about advocating for him and demanding that his father, his biological father, the man that loves his son and has been out there fighting every day for his son to be cleared.
Now we're back to clearing Seth Rogers again. Now we have circled all the way back around to clearing Seth Rogers. Seth Rogers isn't accused of anything. Seth Rogers is not a suspect in anything. There has been no named suspects in this disappearance of Sebastian. There is not even a true crime case here. The only criminal behavior is that of Beddy. Beddy is the only one with charges in this entire situation. And it does not have anything to do with Sebastian and Sebastian's disappearance. Seth has not been named a suspect besides by Seth. In his interview with Court TV, Vinny flat out said, there's no suspect's name. They are restarting every single thing that they tried in the beginning for chaos, deflection, destruction, damage control. But why? Why?
In a very corrupt county. This county is corrupt. They don't care what happened to this child. I can tell you that they have information. This is what I'll say. This is what I'll say based on the interview on Court TV, as well as the interview, the portion of the interview that I saw on Josh the Lab. They've had information. We've heard about these abuse allegations for quite some time. We are learning that law enforcement has had these. Law enforcement is telling people like me and you in the public that there is no evidence of foul play. And I've been saying that's BS. That's BS, and probably why the county wants to come after me, right?
No, Beddy. No, it has nothing to do with your bullshit about Sebastian. You have been lying all along. You have videos on your page talking about abuse allegations that might not be true. Even if there was a CPS record, there was obviously nothing founded in that because there was no charges from that. There's no open case. There was no open case. There was a case as soon as he went missing. This dangling of these CPS records again is all posturing, in my opinion.
Try to come after me and silence me by jail. Can't have First Amendment rights here in Sumner County, right? They cannot like me, but when I don't like them, they try to throw me in jail. Oh well. Long story short is we heard about these abuse allegations originally from the stepfather on an interview, multiple, but I think it really was kind of the spotlight was shined on it on March 20th when these allegations were questioned on Smiley's World. And then again, it was questioned on Nancy Grace's interview, right? So the initial abuse allegations that we had learned about were from the stepfather's own commentary in these interviews. And now we're supposed to not listen or look at them or anything like that. But I have to say, Seth's statement on Court TV that he needs a protective order against these people, it kind of makes you realize that this is a little more serious, or at least it has that appearance that this is a little more serious than a belt incident, right? We learned that by the same stepfather, multiple visits to the house. How do we know? Because he slipped up and said, oh yeah, that's right. This is the same one that we had a conversation with. I knew this person, same type of situation as the last time. Remember that kind of, I didn't say that verbatim, but kind of.
Oh, this is just not going to age well. This is not going to age well for them. It didn't get anywhere last time. This is not going to land well. But they're going to try it. They're going to try this. They're dangling it out there and people are running with it. Dolly amped everybody up again last night on his end too.
Kind of the theme that we were getting. So it does kind of state that, or make us at least believe that law enforcement appear to have a lot more evidence that would suggest that there is foul play.
Law enforcement, the last time they spoke, stated there was no foul play. Everything's on the table, but there was no evidence of foul play at that point in time. Have things changed? Potentially. But currently, it is an open investigation, not a criminal investigation. Nobody's been named a suspect. Again, law enforcement, of course, knows more than anybody else. And it makes Beddy furious that she isn't in the know.
Associated with this case, from statements made to these CPS reports that we're not a privy to, but we can hear from the father that sound like it doesn't sound good. Okay, whatever is in those reports sound really, really worrisome because we see Seth's face. Okay, when he makes these statements on, say, court TV, like, I need protective orders for my son against these people. Things of that nature. I can't remember verbatim what was said in that court TV interview, but it was something to that effect. So we know it's got to be really, really, really bad in those reports. So if we know that they're really bad, we know CPS has definitely got to be working with law enforcement somehow, that this would have been an avenue that law enforcement would have looked into. So law enforcement, in my opinion, would have possession of those documentation. They would have everything that's.
Of course they did. They did within the first probably 24 to 48 hours. Law enforcement had access to all of the records that had been filed previously. They had that in their hands from the jump. That is here nor there. They are trying to, oh, Beddy.
Say Seth has, even though Seth can't distribute that information, he still has it. And every time he speaks about,
he can't distribute that information, but they can dangle it and try to paint a narrative with this, even though he can't release it.
This in the only way he can, it sounds a lot worse than what we have imagined.
That sounds a lot worse than what we have imagined. Meanwhile, there's been no charges filed. Nothing.
This sounds like it's a little more complicated, and it goes well past, a simple belt incident that could be misconstrued as a punishment. It sounds.
So we're supposed to believe that these CPS records are so damning, but they don't want to talk about the other CPS records. There's numerous CPS records, but not just against Chris, that they're trying to paint this out to be. Seth talked about that. Seth talked about how CPS was involved with him in California because Sebastian had made allegations against him. By the way, if you want to fact check me, that was from Beddy's exclusive interview with Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers. So, again, where are we headed here? Where are we headed?
Sounds like it was multiple events. And I even think that Seth had stated that there were multiple events here earlier on. I can't remember if it was my interview or somebody else's interview that he stated that first, but I do remember hearing that. So we have that. Then we have the fact that there are no.
So we have speculation, more dangling of tidbits of information that they're going to try to use to paint a narrative. Meanwhile, he legally cannot release those records. They've been talking about how they're trying to maneuver to release those records, amping everybody up to paint a narrative again. For what? Because you got put in timeout?
No dogs. There were no dog scent hits. That's pretty alarming for a child that allegedly walked out of the house without any shoes on. Very, very alarming, in my opinion. So we have a child that has no shoes. We have a dog scent that doesn't pick up this child's scent. And we have no evidence of this child walking out, because even in the stepfather's own words, on Smiley's World, again, March 20th, 2024 interview, he states that if somebody were trying to break into the home, that there would be something on the camera across the street. Now, it wouldn't be good, but you would be able to see a figure or a shadow. Well, guess what? There was no figure or shadow. So the only time.
That is not necessarily true. And if that was necessarily true, why haven't those people came out and shown that they pick up everything else? Janice, thank you for the support. If there was an abuse, explain how a New Mexico judge approved Chris Proudfoot to see his daughter this summer, a visit several states away. Yeah, there's that. If there was foundation behind these allegations, there would have been an open CPS case at the time of his disappearance. A case was opened when he went missing. That's standard procedure. But she's just digging herself a hole. But you notice they're trying to mix these two situations, right? She is trying to use Sebastian's disappearance to cover for her actions of harassing and stalking the family. They're two separate situations. But she's trying to include herself in all of this other stuff. And because they're silencing her, poor Seth. So now, because she's being silenced, they're coming out and doing more harm to Sebastian. because Betty's put in timeout? Make that make sense. Anybody?
Time we have any activity on this outside of that house is the Nick Barris video that was dropped on March 14th. And what we saw on the March 14th is what appears to be 2 flashlights coming from the back side of the home.
Betty, do you remember your own video where you go out there and say that it's reflections of lights and tree leaves?
To a parked vehicle that had been there for 3 to 5 minutes.
Now we've got a time frame, 3 to 5 minutes.
Don't know what happened to one flashlight because it just disappears.
All of this based on a small upper portion of a larger video. Okay, all right.
And the car leaves, but we do see the second flashlight quickly returning back to the back side of their residence. That is
her own words debunk what she's saying. Now, I have my own personal feelings about lights and stuff like that. But this story that she's trying to paint completely contradicts what she said previously.
The only event that, in my opinion, would be the only time he could have left the home. But again, he clearly did not go out that front door, because had he gone out that front door, he would have been captured on that camera that allegedly captured him taking out the garbage.
No, not necessarily. It was dark. He was dressed in all black. No, that's not true. He could have easily, with all black clothing on, walked right past that, and their camera would not have picked up motion if he didn't step like to the curb. If he walked right alongside the house, that can't. Oh my God, Betty. This is unreal. And this is why they're trying to once again say that there was no scent, even though Seth himself talks about the scent.
It was not there. Then you couple that with the dog hits. Now we did have the dogs following a trail. But if you look.
Oh, now she's going to say it again. But over the last couple days, there was no. What is happening here? Tony was on there saying that there was no dog. There was no scent. There was no scent of Sebastian leaving the home. You guys need to do a better job of getting your stories together, because you guys are all over the fucking place. Yeah, Quinny, have you seen proof of that allegation? I heard that allegation last night by BJ, but once again, it was, trust me, I have a source and zero proof of that whatsoever. I think that that's all a posturing thing too, and maneuvering for attention. Has anybody seen proof of that whatsoever yet?
Look at the trail the dogs followed, and you look at the trail of the lights and the light source. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Who were part of those light sources? I have to believe.
Also, carrying a trash can, pulling a trash can is going to have motion with it. He went all the way to the curb with the trash can and placed the trash can at the curb. There is a whole lot more distance between the curb and the house. If he didn't walk to the curb when he left and dressed in all black clothing, if it was way darker out, I mean, there's a huge chance that he wouldn't be picked up on cameras. Seth's own PI, who was working for Seth at the time, said that there was high likelihood of being able to walk out without being noticed on camera. His own PI, who is no longer working for him, but she stated that on Web Sleuth. I'm referring to Chloe.
It had to be somebody from inside that home, because that dog only had scents to follow from inside that home. Whose scent was that dog following if it was not Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers? Right?
Oh, I see what we're doing here. That
is something that we have to do. I know a lot of people are upset because of my.
It has to be somebody that was in the home. I get this. I see where this plan is headed. We picked up on this the other day.
My opinion on this case, but I followed the leads where they went, and the leads aren't looking good at all for part of the family.
Yeah, I have not seen, Quinny, thank you for answering. I've seen no proof of those allegations about Nick. I think that's intentional too. I would be very cautious, everybody, to even mention that, because First and foremost, that is not a factual source, being BJ whatsoever. She didn't say who she talked to. She said Justin had said he looked and there was nothing. And she's like, well, Justin doesn't know what I know. Come on, people. Like, what are we doing here? Why are they doing all this? There's so many different missing pieces, and it's all for attention, distractions, deflection, and I don't buy any of it. Until there's proof that he is incarcerated, I would be very careful.
We followed the leads where they led us. And now the county's trying to shut us up. Why? Probably because there is evidence of foul play. Probably because they've lied to the public. Probably because they keep trying to sweep this under the rug because of their donors in an election.
Fuck my life. Here we go. Beddy.
Cycle. Maybe they'll get off their butts and do something about this case after the elections are said and done. But boy, they need that second generation money.
All this political, that's all she has. This is all she has. This is it. This is their Hail Mary. It's corruption. They're out to get her. People are funding campaigns. These are donors behind it. His job was on the line. Oh, Lord. Beddy, don't try this. This is going to fall flat.
Right? They need help getting in. Maybe when they get in, they'll do right by this child instead of right by their pocketbook or their voters, right? Because let's face it, what happens if it's your child or your loved one or your family member? These people are playing politics at the expense of your child.
The only person playing politics is you right here. That's the only person playing politics. These people are following their jobs, the law. A judge followed the law. A sheriff is following investigative protocol. The TBI, the FBI, Sumner County are all involved. So you can't just stop with one being corrupt, Beddy. They're all corrupt because they've all been working in tandem. Try again, Beddy.
When you start covering up for people that have done terrible things, we've got ourselves a huge problem. It's one thing to want to distance yourself from the publicity, but to literally execute a strategy that infringes on people's rights to speak is a
she's bold. Beddy, this might be the dumbest thing you've ever done, is trying to convince people that they have a plan to execute corruption against you and a child that is missing, that the county and people in those positions, the judges, the sheriff, that they are executing a plan of corruption to not find a missing child and to what? Protect their citizens against you?
a whole different caliber of corruption that I've ever seen. And the only thing I can equate to that.
Wait a second. I might just fall out. Is Duty Ron in my chat? Sorry. I might have a fangirl moment right quick. Y'all know I don't do that very often, but thank you for stopping by. Excellent coverage on this last night. Excellent coverage. And she is extremely triggered by that. Extremely upset about your professional opinion. Thank you for stopping by, Duty Ron.
Is donations, donors, politics. We all know that there is a swamp. This swamp needs to be drained.
Oh, man.
Anybody that's in here, if you are in Tennessee and you are specifically in Sumner County, I am definitely a MAGA first person. I am a conservative. I know not everybody in my audience is like that, and God bless them for being.
We know you're a front row hoe. Get on with it.
Here because I know politics in this day and age is choppy water, but they're not here for politics. They're here for these victims. God bless you guys for dealing, with my commentary, especially some of the stuff you guys don't agree with. But at the end of the day, this is the area that they're in. They are very concerned. Oh, hey, it's Jen. It's me, Jen. It's nice to see you, my love. Good morning. We are definitely, at least I am definitely red. I'd like to say our chat is a little purple, because we're a little colorblind when it comes to the politics. We only want to work on, means that are for all of us, right? Oh, thank you. Nick says, happy Thanksgiving to all of us, to all Canadians. Hugs to everyone. Justice for Sebastian. Don't give up. Thank you, Love Bug. Thank you so much. But this is a conservative county as well, so they should be in the same mindset as me.
No, no, they should not. No, you're an extremist. You are a selfish, spoiled brat who tries to cry foul anytime you're held accountable for your actions. No, they should not be in the same mindset. They hold offices, the sheriff's office, a judge's seat. They should not be in the same mindset of you. That would be terrible, Betty. Just because you both claim conservative Republican Party doesn't mean they align with your mindset. Thank God.
As far as law and order, not wanting to have swampy areas. But a lot of people also, because of how popular Trump is, all they want to do is say that they're Trump, they believe in Trump. No, they don't. If this is the way they're conducting their county, I can
Oh.
guarantee that they don't know a damn thing about the man, because the man's trying to drain the swamp, this very swamp that they're creating in that county. I can guarantee that. And if they don't realize that I can guarantee that, I don't know what else to say, because I can tell you this kind of stuff is exactly what enrages Donald J. Trump, because he's going through a lot of the same stuff.
Oh, no, she's not. No, she's not. She's comparing herself to what Trump is going through. Ma'am, I gotta walk away from this because I'm gonna get myself in trouble.
They are rhinos. What we call these politicians that are in places like Sumner counties, we call them rhinos. That means Republican in name only. RINO, not RHINO, RINO. Okay. And that's what we're dealing with here. So they're basically the opposite of what I believe in.
Meanwhile, this one has been saying her body, her choice. Betty, I think you're confused.
And they actually think that they can control somebody if they are all working as a system. Now, that's, again, this is all of my opinion and based upon my experience in this area. So somebody that probably doesn't do the work that I do probably doesn't have the experiences I have. And that's
The work that I do. Harassing and stalking victims and their families. We're still calling that work, Betty?
that's good. But I can tell you something is definitely not right in this county. And the idea that they have no evidence of foul play, I'm going to call bullshit on. Excuse my language. I know you guys don't like me cussing, but we just got $10 from me, Nick. It bought me a few cuss words, okay? Bought me a few of them. Lawfare, exactly, show poodle, exactly, show poodle. And so we
Lawfare. Meanwhile, you are threatening to sue somebody for commentary and calling you a psychopath. Meanwhile, you are in a lawsuit and have refiled numerous times because of things that weren't even said, and you've changed up your claims. Betty.
also have to look at that. So I do absolutely. Oh, Miss Lee, mom of three. That's so beautiful. We aren't red or blue. We are for Sebastian. We're green. I love that. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. And I just really believe that there's something very hinky going on with this county. So hinky that I fear for anybody going into this county, and so much so that I have decided to fight this county. Now, I don't violate
Oh, okay. Here we go.
protective orders. It would be just very easy just to move past this and fight them on the criminal side and appeal that if they gave a poor decision. But because these protective orders were lied to, and the judge doesn't think that proper service is as a necessity in civil litigation, we're going to have to challenge it, because if I don't challenge it, this will happen to somebody else. Okay.
So the proper procedure, from what I'm understanding, again, I'm not a legal expert of any means, but from what I am finding in my research, they have 10 days to appeal an order of protection. That goes to a circuit court. At that point in time, the circuit court would rule whether it was unnecessary and handle it. And then it goes up the ladder from there. They didn't even attempt to appeal the first three. They asked for a complete dismissal. So they would have 10 days now to appeal Chris's. The other three are already permanent for a year. But she's going to get even more muddy here in a second. Sammy, thank you so much. I've got a clip pulled up that I want to play too.
This will happen to somebody else. It's already happened to other people. And I want to make sure that we always try to leave a place better than when we came. And whether they don't like it or not, that we're going to leave it better because we don't care about the politicians.
I mean, you are kind of leaving places better than when you get there because people are putting ordinance and passing laws to protect victims and their families from things that you do, such as Florida after what you did to Brian Laundrie's family. Georgia, after what you did there, they passed an ordinance. I mean, I guess you are kind of cleaning things up because of your poor behavior, in my opinion.
At the end of the day, we care about the people. Why? Because it's we the people. They work for us. I don't work for them. Okay? They work for us. We don't work for them.
You don't work, Beddy. Period, point blank, end of story. That conversation doesn't even need to go any further.
And sometimes there are some things that have such a great cost, even though it seems very petty, that you have to fight, you know? And it's
Hold, please. I want to switch here. I want to switch gears really quick because I want to take people back to a moment in time where she was really proud of her behavior. You guys will remember this day. Did you guys lose audio? Did you guys lose audio over here? I got this weird browser. No sound? Hold on. Let me clear that out. Hold on just a second. Let me go back over here. Give me 1 second. Let me try that again. Let me see if I can redo this. Give me 1 second. Let's try it again. Hey, everybody coming in.
find a place for you guys.
Anything there? Can you guys hear that? Have a great day, Duty Ron. Thanks for stopping by. Thank you for doing an honest review from a professional standpoint. Okay, perfect. Let's carry on. And thank you for advocating for victims and their families in a professional manner and being what true crime, in my opinion, should actually be. You are much appreciated. Thank you. Just so everybody is clear, I put it up on the screen right there for you. This is from August 26th, 2024. This is right after she was released from her hold in Sumner County. Okay. Mods, if you haven't, will you drop Duty Ron's link in the chat for me, please? And thank you if anybody's available. If not, I'll go grab it. Thank you, Pika. Okay, so they do their little prayer. This is outside of Sumner County, just so everybody is aware. Notice the papers in her hands. The papers in her hands are the orders that she is going to go hand to media. Again, Beddy asked for media coverage. Now they're stomping the feet, saying that media, is painting things in a different direction. That was Tony. Cinder, it's amazing. Welcome in. But it's amazing how they have tried to combine the two things when they're two complete separate situations. Beddy involved herself in the whole situation of a missing child, started stalking, harassing his family, doing the absolute most. And we've detailed that extensively. But now she's trying to intermix the two by saying that Sumner County, following the law, the judge following the law and placing protection orders on her so she cannot stalk and harass the mother and the stepfather and his Sebastian's grandparents, that somehow is silencing Seth, the father. The two don't work that way, except for the fact that they're one big team. You're going to watch her stomp around for a minute, but she's got some things to say here coming up.
What I do know.
Oh, here.
Into
Hold on.
the morning that they found out Sebastian Rogers was missing from his home, they were supposed to turn that house in his bedroom into a crime.
It's kind of hard to hear. I'll turn closed captioning on, but she will get closer to the camera in just a moment.
I don't even know at this point if that is true or if that happened. What I do know is that Sebastian hasn't been found. But out of all the investigations going on, they were able to put me behind bars for this, for my voice, for this boy. And that is not acceptable in America today. We came out here not only to support Sebastian, but to support the police that are investigating this case. We know that the state of Tennessee is struggling with funding. They're struggling with defunding the police. They do not have the proper training or the resources to continue a lot of these investigations. Sebastian's case is down to one detective now, one sole detective. They did not, and I repeat, did not extend the searches after the 8th day. I believe they may have came out to.
That is incorrect. That is factually incorrect because EquiSearch went in and searched extensively, hand in hand with law enforcement, way past 8 days.
Some targeted searches, but the people that have been searching for this young boy is this community, his father, volunteers. We need law enforcement to stand up and speak up. We need Seth cleared so he can bring in outside resources to
We need Seth cleared so he can bring in outside resources.
help him find information about what happened to his son. Right now, Sumner County is refusing to speak with Seth, the only person that has.
This is a reminder. Right now, Sumner County is refusing to speak with Seth. That is what she is stating.
Passed a polygraph test publicly, and the only person that has been searching. What's happening on the other side? They're trying to silence the critics. They're trying to silence the people that are out here asking the questions and doing the work.
Again, just a reminder for anybody that might be new to this case, Seth Rogers was the first one to come out and slap 6 cease and desists on content creators and people who are actively out there searching. You can feel however you want to. I support parents protecting themselves and having the right to do so. But he was the first one to hire an attorney and serve 6 cease and desists. Chris and Katie have filed for 1 order of protection against Bullhorn Beddy. Think about that.
I went to jail because I'm a civic child, and my rights and civil liberties were violated. But at the end of
My rights and civil liberties were violated.
the day, I'm still here. I'm still here seeking justice for Sebastian Rogers. I'm still here to clear Seth so we can get those. We can get those.
Again, a reminder, law enforcement has never named a suspect in Sebastian's disappearance. We have an open, active investigation into the disappearance of Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. We don't even have a criminal investigation. Yes, that has been stated. It was retracted and clarified. The DA actually came out and spoke of what it would need to be to take it from an open investigation to a criminal investigation. Nobody has been named a person of interest. No suspects have been named. The only person that is claimed that they are a suspect is Seth Rogers. Vinnie Politan on Court TV the other night stated that nobody has been named a suspect.
Those resources into this county, and we can feel like finally something might be done. As of today, might, and I say might, have some details that they will release to the public. Maybe, I don't know. But I have to say, I am very concerned in this community from how I have been treated in this community as an outsider. If I'm an outsider being treated like this with the platforms that I have, it makes me very concerned for the citizens that live in this community. And right now, one of their citizens is missing. And the father needs answers. The biological father needs answers. We've asked Sumner County several times, is their Proudfoot family working at their county building? Are they in law enforcement? Do they have access to the case? And they will not answer those questions to Seth or to the public.
That has been a narrative that they've been trying to push all along, is that there is a family member or a relative of the Proudfoot family or Bowersox family that works with law enforcement, and that was a problem all along. They have never been able to prove that that is factual whatsoever.
Probable cause for forensic searches. Do we even know if the public has this house, the house that he was in, that he was living in, that he disappeared from? Has it been forensically tested? Are they further along today?
Nick Barris confirmed in his reporting that forensics have been done. He confirmed that himself. You can follow him on Facebook for further information.
Then they were on February 26th. We don't know. Why? Because Eric Craddock will not release the information to the public. We don't know if this boy was kidnapped, if this boy was trafficked. We know nothing because they won't let this community have reassurance or peace of mind. We're not asking for details of this case. We're not asking for information that will jeopardize this case. We're asking one simple question. Are they further along today than they were on February 26th? And I hope today, if they do a press conference,
and the public is not owed anything. Truly, they're not.
They answer at least that simple question that this boy's father has been asking them for 5 months. 5 months.
Factually speaking, it's been Tony Mathis asking that question, not Seth Rogers.
Seth Rogers is on camera at work. I don't even know what this man's life would be. What his life would be if he wasn't at work and in bed sleeping. But he wasn't. He was in a jail. He was on film. Why will this sheriff not clear him so he can bring in multiple law?
He would have to be named a suspect in order to be cleared, which he has not been.
As a resource that helps his son's case, and the Sumner County Sheriff's Department refuses to provide him information. I don't want the information. I'm here to make sure Seth, the father, the man that's searching for his son, the man that passed the polygraph, I want him to.
He passed a polygraph for Nancy Grace for a television show. Okay. And Katie and Chris, according to Robin Rogers' statement on Facebook, also passed polygraphs.
Have the answer
for the TBI.
Because let's face it, CPS did not tell him what was going on inside his son's home where he was living. While I don't know what is contained in those reports, Seth Rogers does. And apparently it's very upsetting to him. Why didn't CPS reach out to Seth to tell them there were problems inside his son's primary home? That's what we need to know. That's what we're here for. This right here has to be number one so we can get to number two. Because trusting Sumner County, I can tell you, I don't trust them. If I raise my right.
I love that you can barely hear her. I mean, it is annoying. Thank goodness for closed captioning, but it diminishes her message once again. That is null and void. He's just still.
We want to bring Sebastian home, hey, hey, ho, ho. We want to bring Sebastian home, hey, hey, ho, ho. We want to bring Sebastian home, hey, hey, ho, ho. We want to bring Sebastian home, hey, hey.
This is when the news media reporter comes over and states, did you know that the FBI is now offering up to a $50,000 reward?
Amazing. Thank you, FBI. Thank you. We need you. God bless you. You know what? We just pray. We just pray. We just pray. Guys, $50,000. want to bring Sebastian home. Hey, hey, ho, ho. We want to bring Sebastian home. Hey, hey, ho, ho. We want to bring Sebastian home. Hey, hey, ho, ho. We want to bring Sebastian home. Hey, hey, ho, ho. We want to bring
This is so embarrassing.
Sebastian home. Yay! Woo! That is the best news that we have heard in 6 months. Woo! In 6 months. That is the best news that we have heard. Guys, God bless you. This is what it's all about. It didn't take 100 people here. I want you guys to understand it. It takes a few people to reach the point. It takes a few strong people to say stuff. You see what I'm saying? We are powerful. This is powerful. We need to remember to use it. We've got to remember we are strong. We don't need to be strong in numbers. We need to be strong in our voice, in our perseverance, in our demands for justice and demands for answers. This was a good day. God bless America. Thank you. I pray for this community. Yes. I pray for this community, and I'm very nervous with everything that I've seen. And we're going to leave it at that. Guys, we're going to have you guys are going to we've got drinks here. I want to sit and mingle with you guys for a little bit and hear you. What brought this case to you? You know, we're all out here in love. You were told that we were going to be out here to cause chaos, bring hell and stuff to this community. And
Ma'am, you flat out said previously in your Look What Bullhorn Betty did live stream that you were going to bring hell to their county.
Brought nothing but love and support. I got arrested for it.
I got arrested for it.
I was arrested for fighting for this boy. And
I was arrested for fighting for this boy. No, Betty, you were arrested for stalking and harassing the family of the missing child. Let's make that very clear.
Sumner County, I don't trust them. They need better training, they need more resources, and they need better leadership. And we can't let them take our voice. Absolutely. We will not let them take our voice. Absolutely.
Justice in Henderson Jail and corruption.
I just wanted to remind everybody of that little episode right there of how this is coming full circle again. Okay, let's go back to today.
As petty as this may seem, this has major legal consequences, not just for me, but for that community. And that we cannot stand for. I'm not leaving that community in a worse position than when I got there. We always leave these communities in much better position. Ron has done nothing to find Sebastian or arrest his killers. I agree. I agree. Duty Ron's.
Now, I can't go into detail because I don't know all the ins and outs, but I know Duty Ron is a huge advocate for EquiSearch and helps EquiSearch with fundraising, using his platform constantly to talk about what they do and what an asset they are. EquiSearch absolutely was on the ground doing way more than you've ever even attempted to do on any of these cases, Betty. And they are professionals, and he is directly associated with them. So shut up, Betty.
He's an idiot. He's a buffoon. Send him that. Clip that. He's a buffoon. And I tell him, clip this too. I hope Duty Ron.
Well, she has left every community better when she leaves. She takes the trash out herself. Excuse me.
Actually learns how to investigate before he opens his fat lips. Just saying. Because he's a narcissist. You may think I'm a psychopath, but I'd rather be a psychopath to his narcissism.
So now she's crying about somebody calling her a psychopath, but she's calling them a narcissist. Betty, isn't that defamation according to your standards that you just said a few minutes ago?
So there's that. Good morning, Win Bigley. Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Holy shit, she's lost.
So we are going to continue to fight for Sebastian. Obviously, you know what? There's a no contact order when I haven't contacted anybody.
All right, this is getting old. This is getting old, but I just have to do it for the one time, because people keep running with this, and it's just going to give me the opportunity to continue to play this. Again, this is from True Crime or True Crama.
Time to burn it, baby. Time to burn it.
Hold on.
Oh, I sent you. I'm not going to read your response to me, but I'll read my message because I want to see if it rings true to you now, Mr. Proudfoot.
Let me back it up.
Remember that text message I told? Oh, let's read the text message I sent you.
Okay, again, this is from True Crama. This was her contact with Chris that she publicly talked about from June.
How did anybody contact these people? This is infuriating, right? Katie and Chris. Chris, remember that text message I told? Oh, let's read the text message I sent you. I'm not going to read your response to me. But I'll read my message because I want to see if it rings true to you now, Mr. Proudfoot. Oh, I put a message. Oh, it was a voicemail message. Just to show you that this.
Here, let me just do this. I've got it pulled up right here. Here you go.
I've never contacted these people. I've never had anybody contact these people. This is infuriating, right?
Katie and Chris. Oh, Chris, remember that text message I told? Oh, let's read the text message I sent you. I'm not going to read your response to me, but I'll read my message because I want to see if it rings true to you now, Mr. Proudfoot. Oh, I put a message. Oh, it was a voicemail message. And just to show you that this is the real Chris Proudfoot, okay? I just don't want you seeing the message he wrote me because I don't have his permission to use it.
Oh, no contact though, huh?
That was weird. I didn't play my voicemail clip.
Hi, Chris. It's Bullhorn Beddy. I did want to stop by because I saw you on another channel that protects criminals, which is kind of odd that you circulate those channels. However, there was one comment that you made about how we need to take law classes. And I just wanted to let you know, I don't know if you know this about me, but I worked in law offices for years. I have a paralegal degree and I graduated with honors, as a matter of fact. So I know you think I'm an idiot and don't know what I'm doing, but I can promise you I do. And I've done investigative work on cases just like this many other times. So if you would like to talk off the record, I'm happy to hear what you have to say. But honestly, this is where I stand. So take it for what you will.
So, Chris, I just wanted to let you know, how do you like me now? I mean, you didn't like me before. You didn't like me before. But I just want to let you know, knock, knock. Hi, I'm Bullhorn Beddy. I told you I would be up in your orifices and up in your colon.
Oh.
I'm not far enough yet.
Oh.
I'm not far enough. And I told you it'd be painless. Like you didn't even know I was up there until boom. Right? I see a polyp. Time to burn that ass, baby. Time to burn that ass.
Well, there's that. Let's go back to this. Tell us some more about how you didn't have any contact.
Again, oxymoron. We're still going to move forward with this case. Sebastian is worth it. Seth is worth it. Seth has been through hell and back for his son. And the bleeding has got to stop at some point. And this county has got to start taking responsibility for a mess that they created. Period.
Oh.
This child should be here. We shouldn't be in this situation. Seth should have been informed that something was going on behind those closed doors. He should have knew that his son was dealing with a bunch of abuse behind those closed doors so he could go
and we don't know that that's factually correct whatsoever. We don't know if there was any abuse behind those closed doors. None of us live there. None of us know what those CPS records contain.
Take care of his son, but he wasn't afforded that opportunity.
And no one has been charged with any abuse. So there's that.
He was not knowledgeable of that until after his son disappeared. That is unfair to that man. And for this county to say he does not have a right to be pissed, he does not have a right to open his mouth or fight for his son.
I have not heard that county say that he doesn't have a right to be pissed. Anybody else? Anybody else here, Sumner County, come out and say that Seth doesn't have a right to be pissed and he's got no right to talk? Anybody? Because I sure as hell have not heard anybody say anything like that.
He doesn't have a right to go out there and search for his son when nobody else is.
Actually, on your live stream with him, the exclusive interview, he talked about how law enforcement told all of them that they didn't want them searching. All three of them that they didn't want them searching. Again, your interview, May 30th, exclusive with Seth Rogers.
And God forbid you try to build a team, they're going to arrest the whole damn team because they have something to say that they don't like. I think it's slimy. I think it's swampy. And I think it looks very, very corrupt. And at the end of the day, it's about appearance. And there is an appearance of impropriety in this whole damn county, period.
Oh.
And until we get that in check, nobody's going to be able to go in that county and look for this child. without being in fear of being arrested for their commentary and their beliefs. And I find that despicable and appalling in America.
Nobody was arrested for their commentary solely on videos. It was the fact that you jumped out of your car in the middle of traffic, harassing Terry Bowersocks. It was the part that you went to Chris's job site. It was the fact that you drove by both of their houses and admitted proudly to doing so. It's the fact that you went on the property. The neighbors even called the police on you. It's a combination of things, not just your commentary. Your commentary that included calling Sebastian defective numerous times, not just once. I think we reviewed 9 streams, 9 different streams where she used that term. You called him a package. You've diminished the missing child and continue to re-victimize the missing child over and over again.
Despicable and appalling. Seth does not deserve this. His son does not deserve this. His son deserves the absolute best. But when you've got people in the pockets of these people, it's making this whole entire situation a lot more slimy, a lot more swampy, and a lot worse. But if you don't think that Sumner County is a swamp, it's the epitome of swamp. I will be wearing forever Drain the Swamp pin on my shirt from here on out every time I go into that county. Along with a camera, of course. Not like they even care. It's like, oh, well, she was running the other way when the crowd was coming. Oh, but she was the one attacking. Yeah, she's running away, right? They can see what was going on and still not deal with it. I don't know.
Ma'am, hold on. You were saying you were running away? Wait, is that what she's trying to say there? Did I mishear that? I might have misheard that. I might have blacked out.
Sumner County is a swamp. It's the epitome of swamp. I will be wearing forever Drain the Swamp pin on my shirt from here on out every time I go into that county. Along with a camera, of course. Not like they even care. It's like, oh, well, she was running the other way when the crowd was coming. Oh, but she was the one attacking. Yeah, she's running away, right? They can see what was going on and still not deal with it. I don't know. I'm just, I'm a little angry that I truly have found a county that is corrupt. And they're trying to say that they're a conservative county. No, they are not.
Sure.
And if that county really believes that their county is conservative, you need to take a walk into a real conservative county. Okay. What you're dealing with is politicians. They have no integrity. It's all about money and power in that county. That's all they care about is money and power. You guys need to start finding the statesmen in your county. You're typically the underdogs. So going for the most popular person year after year is not the way to go. Okay. There's a reason why they're getting so much funding. They can only get so much funding typically by people like developers, people like second generation, right? I had an opportunity from the few visits that I had, were there for. I got to see some of their work. They put up big houses. They are absolutely developers. Here in my county, our developers own this county. Trying to get a politician in this, we can only keep them for maybe 4 years before they are drawn in by the developer power and money, and then they start flip flopping here in our county, and then we got to fire them because we're sick of the developers owning our county. And I pray to God that Sumner County, Tennessee, gets that way too, because I can tell you, your sheriff is bought and paid for, and he's not there to help you. He's there to help his donors. He doesn't think he has to treat outsiders the way he treats his own community, and that to me is disgusting. Somebody that puts a badge on and swears to uphold the law and is as dirty and grimy as some of the criminals that they put behind bars is disgusting to me.
Oh,
it's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, that's totally Beddy.
How much cash has CP given Duty Ron? I just think Duty Ron's an idiot. He doesn't need any cash to be an idiot.
What? This is how naive her audience is too. Even assuming because somebody did commentary on Beddy's actions that obviously there's money being exchanged from Chris Proudfoot. Are you freaking joking?
I can tell you that if I found out if he was on one of the cases as a detective, I'd have him removed as quickly as possible.
Oh, really? Would you? Would you now? You think you hold that power? You threatened to pull his credentials and look into his background and all that earlier. But now you're saying you don't have that power, Betty.
Because if you can't even can't see the trees for the forest, you're not worth your salt and freaking detective work. Period.
Oh.
We would run circles around him. So I had
Betty. With your snake boots on? Your mouth? In a Chili's parking lot? Like, where are you running?
some kind of exciting news, but I'm not going to tell too much for confidentiality purposes because we know how the animals are on here, and we're hoping that this will prove what we needed to prove as well. So Chronicles of Olivia and I are going to be doing a project together here. Her and I are going to meet and see each other again. It's going to be a small project. We're going to a place in North Carolina, and I don't want to say too much about it because I don't want to say too much about it. But I am so excited to see Olivia. I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to bring Delilah or not. I still think she's a little too young, but we'll see. There's nothing going on around here. I got no airports. I got no power at my house. I've got no internet. And it's kind of, I'm with my mom right now. She has power, and we're using hotspots in our phones to power Wi-Fi. But, it'd be nice to see a friendly face. But the problem is I don't know how I'm going to get there because I don't think my car's going to make it. So it may not come to be something that we're going to be able to see each other face to face.
Of course, she's got car problems again. I mean, why wouldn't she?
I'm hoping we will. It depends on how everything works out. But, we're going to be working at least through the phone and working on just an interesting little skit. She's really excited about it. I'm kind of excited about it. I haven't seen her in a while. So, and she's been working on a bunch of different cases, and I've been working on this case. So I'm really excited to start researching with her again and start putting some pen to paper. We have already met this morning, on, I guess, FaceTime, and had some meetings about this thing. So I don't know. I'm just kind of excited. I'm kind of excited because I haven't worked with Olivia in like a year on anything. And it'll be nice to be back in the saddle with her. So, Chris won't go after Olivia. Truth in Time says Chris won't go after Olivia because she's pretty. Yeah, well, Olivia, she's sweet. I don't think she'll have crafted me with that psychopath. That's because the difference is I'm not intimidated by him. That's the problem.
Oh, you're not?
That's what he doesn't like. He likes raising his voice and somebody goes, okay, I'm sorry. I'm the one that says, whatever. I think that's the difference. But
sorry, she's eating.
Who knows?
I can't.
I do too. She looks so cute in that. I put her in a dress that says I'm too cute. So, well, if you need to come to North Carolina, well, that's the problem. Is that my I don't know if you guys know this, but my airport lost part of its roof, so the airport's been closed down. We took, like I said, these two hurricanes back to back really did a number on my community. Like I think they're still getting people up and running. We don't even have gas, y'all. Do you know that? Like we're rationing gas. There's like literally, like they've got strategic gas places set up, and part of our county has no power. That you can't pump gas without power. So DeSantis is bringing truckers in. We have one of the free pumps here but they'll give you free 10 gallons of gas. That's it. And you can't get gas here. That's the problem. We have no gas. I mean, we have gas, but when you have no power, you got no pumps to pump the gas out of the ground. So we're all sitting here. Like yesterday, I had to take the rental car back. And yesterday I had to stand in line. There was one gas station. Like we had to go clean out the parish area and Fort Hammer Bridge just to get gas. There's no gas in this county, no pumpable gas. And so I had to sit in line for about 30, 45 minutes out there just to get a half a tank of gas because, I didn't want to be charged whatever they were going to charge to fill up the gas, thing because there's no gas. So I stood there and I went in line for, however long it took me to get up there to pump. And like, you couldn't even pay for the gas at the pump. You had to go in and prepay. Like, it's like, people don't understand. It's bad when you can't even get gas in your car or gas for your generators. You can't run anything. We have no gas here. More than half of our county, like 70% of our county has no power. There's no internet. The only way you can get internet is like, I got the hotspot over there, which you guys have seen.
Is she really complaining about what she's got going on here? Like, she's the only one dealing with this. She's the only one.
It's the little box that I take everywhere. So when we're in rural, I've got the phone that has Verizon, and I got the hotspot that's AT&T, and I do that. So I have 2 of the major carriers there. So we're never without internet, because one of the worst things that you can do is be in the backwoods of Tennessee with no internet and lost. Okay. You got to be able to get out. So I find having 2 different, subscribers like Verizon and AT&T, one of them always works somewhere. So I feel safe like that. Now there has been a time when I couldn't get either one of them working. I'm like, what do I do? I had to stop and ask 1,000 people how to get out of the place. Oh, thank you, Vicky. Thank you. Oh, Ricky Beavers is up in the house. Nice to see you, my love. It's been a wild ride. This last year has been a wild ride. I can tell you that, from taking on this case and just seeing all the nastiness from law enforcement. I got to tell you, this case has really, really opened my eyes, because I've always been law and order, and I always believe that judges pride themselves off doing the right thing. But I don't even know if this judge is corrupt or just ignorant to civil law. I keep hearing it's just ignorance to civil law. But if ignorance is not a viable defense for people, that's what they say. You not knowing the law, that's not a defense. It shouldn't be a defense for a judge. And like I said, they have clerks, they have all kinds of programs that they can just plug in some keywords and know. So that man read that, and I believe he read this. So it's either his interpretation of black and white English, or he's flawed. And I don't know which one it is. I'm not going to harp on it, because good God, I hate to have to be back in front of him and him saying, "Oh my God, I don't like your commentary. 11 months, 29 days for your voice." I don't trust him. I don't trust anybody in that county. I think they're all crap. Your government sucks, people. I'm going to tell you that.
Betty, this isn't to do with the government. This is to do with your behavior. Your behavior. That's it.
You want corruption out of your county? Vote it out. That's all you can do, is vote it out. But you guys can see exactly what's going on. I would never want that Sheriff Craddock, being the investigator over anything.
Hold on. Look, I just want to take another quick trip down memory lane right quick. This is from August 25th.
This entire time, we know the creators were stalking me and following me, have been for well over 2 years. And this is kind of what they've been working up to, and why I'm in a lawsuit with Queen Bee. So it's one of these things where we're just going to have to trust the process and work through it. But at the end of the day,
from my understanding, yes, it will be the same judge that hears the violations in November. I could be wrong, but from right now, let me go over here and see. Let's just take a look. Okay, so this is the charges. Make sure you guys can see that. Yeah, this is all from Sumner County's website. This is all public information. These are the violations that are upcoming. The next hearing is scheduled for, yep, it is the same judge. There it is right there. November 20th at 9 a.m. She's out on a $20,000 bond right now. And there's the additional parties. But yes, it will be the same judge. Can you guys see that well enough? Let me put it full screen for you. As of right now, it's listed as the same judge. Okay. There we go. Okay, let's go back to this.
This is all going to go away. I can 100% guarantee that I'm not going to be convicted of any of these crimes, that these orders are absolutely going to be stayed. And there is definitely some major things going on in Sumner County, as you guys can clearly see from my thumbnail. How this
should be titled "Things That Didn't Age Well with Bullhorn Beddy"
was orchestrated, in my opinion, was so unconstitutional that it's not even funny. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to maneuver. I want to talk to my attorney, and obviously we're not going to talk to you, but I know that there was a lot of people that came out and supported Sebastian's rescue ride yesterday. And what an appalling, because these people called Michaela's, called those bars, said we were going to be the problem. We were going to do all this stuff, this, that, and the other. And it was so untrue. And look, once again, they come and disturb a peaceful gathering for a father that just wants to support a good cause for his son.
Okay, so right there, that's another reminder that she's saying that That was for Seth Rogers. Okay.
And it's just a little funny that there's been a large sum of money exchanged with one of the people that were out there.
That money was for billboards, from my understanding. They have never been able to prove otherwise.
It is really appalling when I come on to social media and see people joyous that they tried to ruin a benefit for a missing 15-year-old autistic boy. I don't know how you can say evil, loud enough. Just the pure evil that's on here. People were there for a 15-year-old boy, and these people came and stopped it, disrupted it. Came from Hendersonville, right? Intentionally came there when they knew they were not welcomed.
Meanwhile, she drove all the way from Florida.
Intentionally came there when they were told they weren't supposed to be there. That's the whole purpose of this event being on private property, is to make sure that those people weren't there.
Oh.
So with that being said, there was some illegal activity, but I can promise you it wasn't from me and it wasn't from any single person there.
Oh.
And with what has transpired and how it was cultivated, might come back and bite them, maybe. I'm unsure, but it just might come back and bite them. And, but don't worry about it. The reason why I was arrested is because I threatened I was going to sue people in a court of law. That is literally their standing. I threatened to sue someone in America. So
she also claims that she was arrested because of hashtags.
So like I said, this is beyond totally improper. And in my opinion, totally against the Constitution, not even against the Constitution, against state law, against their own Tennessee state law. So it is just, I'm kind of disgusted, but you kind of see a very specific environment there.
Oh.
And it's not one that seems to be holding up or defending the Constitution or their actual laws in the state of Tennessee.
She can't even get her words straight. Okay, anyways, back to this one. I just love to remind people of things that she said. I mean, this was all going to disappear. Why is it carrying on?
And if I had a child missing, I would ask for anybody other than him. I'm sorry, I would. Yeah, I'll get through this. I know. But it sounds like we're going to be...
Welcome in, everybody. Thank you for being here. We're just kind of popping all over the place. This is the live stream we're watching right here is from today. She did this one just a little bit ago, and I'm just interweaving clips of things that just didn't age well and that I like to laugh about in with them. That's all we're doing. Her own foolish words and buffoonery.
Campaigning for funds. We've already got a little over 2,000 raised, as we said. A lot of gracious supporters. I want to give a big shout out to Andrea. I love you, girl. Thank you for your generosity.
Hey, Duchess.
And everybody else's generosity that has really, really helped. We never like to try. We try to handle everything ourselves, but this is kind of past my, past what I can afford.
Oh, it's past what she can afford. Let's slow it down so we get this all in full concept, what she's about to say.
So we just got to, encourage some fundraising and stuff like that. But this is something we can't just ignore. If it was just simply I could care less. I don't talk to these people. If they want to bamboozle a judge or this, that, and the other with a bunch of lies, I could care less. I don't reach out to these people. I don't talk to these people. I don't ask anybody else to reach out or talk to these people.
We already proved that that's not true with playing the clip we did earlier. Carry on.
I've done nothing wrong. Okay. I could care less. But it's the fact that now what the judge said, I thought was totally out of line. And he would not allow me to defend myself, period. And he would not allow, he wouldn't allow me to speak. He kept interrupting me. He kept making my train of thought. He was very frustrated. It doesn't matter. When we walked into that court, we knew we were kind of screwed. We could tell it seemed like somebody had had breakfast with the judge before he went into that hearing. I don't trust them. I'll never trust them. This was really, really poor behavior. They may say my behavior is poor. There are times when I say exactly what other people feel on my show, and I'm entitled to do so. I'm entitled to show my frustration, my anger. I'm entitled to show When I'm stalked, I'm allowed to cuss. I'm allowed to tell somebody to go get bent.
Oh,
I can do all that.
that's all you did?
And a judge is basically saying I'm not allowed to. Apparently, he was born in China. Don't know what to say.
Wait,
Don't know what
what?
to say. But here, I was born in America. And America has the freedom of speech, the freedom of press, and he doesn't get to dictate how my press is done. He doesn't, just because I'm an investigative journalist doesn't mean I have to come out here and say, oh, this, and this. I'm not going.
She's an investigative journalist. Let's take a look at her on the scene. Hold on. This is her investigative journalistic skills at work. Let's just go up here for a moment.
Little boy, they got them searching for Bullhorn Beddy for posting some damn signs on post because these hate channels had to call little old bitches crying and whining. Can't believe Betty's out there. She's so mean. Yes, I am. And I'm gonna be peppering some more. The worst thing that's gonna happen to me is I'm gonna get a ticket. You understand that? You're wasting people's time for a freaking ticket that my audience is gonna end up gladly paying for. Believe that. Believe that. My audience will pay for my ticket. It's not coming out. You guys are idiots. Just stupid. I hate these people. They don't want this boy found. They don't want this boy found. Illuminati, Queen Bee, the Proudfoots, they don't want this boy found.
Blimey, I'm not surprised at anything that comes out of her mouth. The judge is gonna. I would love to see the judge's face when he watches all this, if he does.
All they're looking for is either to go to jail or put me in jail, but they're going to be in jail before I am. I can guarantee that with the way they're going. So it is what it is. Bullhorn Betty didn't even get a warning. I did nothing wrong. Nothing. Dum-dums. Again, not breaking the law. Dum-dums. I hope everybody's been doing well.
Well, who's the dum-dum? Well, let's just go up here real quick and see. Hold on. I'm putting this out here. This isn't the edited. His plate's in here. Oh, do I want to play it with the screen off? Let me just go like this and you can hear it really quick.
Look who just pulled up in the same QX80. Coming up, taking my tag plate. Let's turn around on his tag plate. Terry Bauer socks.
I'll take the screen off as soon as the plate's off the camera.
Terry Bauer socks right there. Came up and decided to take my plate on. So you want to know who's harassing who out here? The proof is in the pudding. The Bauer socks and the Proudfoots are the ones coming and harassing people. That right there, my friend, is Terry Bauer socks. Came by and took a picture.
Okay. Hold on.
Picture.
All right, now I can turn it back on. Hold on. All right. Notice she's parked behind him.
Why are you taking my license plate?
Why are you filming me?
Because you came by and filmed me, Mr. Bauer socks.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm in a public place.
Yes.
Why are you harassing me and following me?
Why
Why are you harassing me and following me when I'm conducting business?
How can I be following you?
You just were in the plaza. You've been following me,
I was
sir.
stopping-
You guys have been harassing me and threatening me for 2 days.
Prove it.
I am. Right here, sir. Right here, sir.
That's that excellent journalism she's got. That journalistic approach that she's got. Let's carry on.
Going to give you my opinion because I am required to be unbiased and I am required to not say my opinion. I don't know what kind of that might be the standard crap that they can control in their county with their own media. Okay, we're alternative media. The whole purpose of us being alternative media is because we're sick and tired of mainstream media.
Oh.
We're sick and tired of them being controlled by politicians. We're sick and tired of them.
But you begged mainstream media to come film this court hearing. You've begged to be on media and play the victim. You've begged to have media attention. But now they're the problem? Oh, Betty.
Not being able to state what they believe. I don't have a board of directors.
No shit.
What they're trying to do is say because these people don't like my commentary of them, they can put a protective order that is meant for somebody that is in fear for their life. They're in fear of my words.
Or the fact that you did threaten to get a pew-pew. The fact that you kept him under surveillance went to his job site, went to where the RV was parked, you know, all of those things.
And if I cross the line, they can come to Florida and sue me for defamation. What they can't do is make it a criminal because they don't like my commentary, and that's exactly what they did. And exactly
You made it criminal. Actually, it was a civil order of protection, but you made it criminal by being violated. By your behavior and getting violated, it is now turned into a criminal situation. Again, the only crime that's been committed around this is you, Beddy. You, at this point in time, you're the only person of interest in your restraining orders, Beddy. I wouldn't even say you're a person of interest. You've been found responsible for stalking and harassing them. That's why the judge issued an order for a year.
what that judge allowed them to do. They don't get to do that. So we're going to be fighting. I wanted to keep you guys all apprised of what was in the coffers because we're going to be raising some funds over the next week to get this out of Sumner County, or at least to have it reviewed. Right now,
to get this out of Sumner County or have it reviewed. So the proper situation would be to file an appeal within 10 days. Then it goes to circuit court. I don't know what she's trying to allude to here of them trying to have it moved out of Sumner County. It would go to a circuit court, then the Court of Appeals. But anybody in the comment section know, again, I'm not a legal expert of any sorts, as you guys all know. I'm just an asshole with a YouTube channel and a lot of opinions and like to play their own words back at them. But is that even potential? Doesn't it have to go up the chain to the circuit court, Court of Appeals? Isn't that proper? How can she just have it moved? I'm not finding where anything says that. Change of venue? Yeah, I'm not seeing that there's an avenue for that. I looked it up and there was nothing that I could find about a change of venue for.
I think the initial fee that we need to pony up, I'll tell you, don't get sticker shock, please. Don't get sticker shock. But we're looking at $15,000 to $30,000.
$15,000 to $30,000. Don't get sticker shock though. Only $15,000 to $30,000. Let's go back and listen to that all again.
Because they don't like my commentary, and that's exactly what they did, and exactly what that judge allowed them to do.
Connie, but they would still be reviewing the Sumner County decisions. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's what she's trying because it's in a different county. I don't know what she's attempting here. But I would think that, I don't know if they can bypass the appeal again. I'm not sure.
They don't get to do that.
It'll be interesting.
So we're going to be fighting. I wanted to keep you guys all apprised of what was in the coffers because we're going to be raising some funds over the next week to get this out of Sumner County, or at least to have it reviewed. Right now, I think the initial fee that we need to pony up, I'll tell you, don't get sticker shock, please. Don't get sticker shock. But we're looking at $15,000 to $30,000 for the whole kit and caboodle. But I think we'll be good.
If anybody in the comment section with legal expertise, if they appeal this, does it push back the hearing for the violations? I don't know how all this is where I wish we had a Tennessee attorney on here. I'm curious if that's what she's trying to do, is push that out further. You know how she likes to drag things out.
By raising $5,000 to get the retainer and whatever they need to get started.
Wait, $5,000 for a retainer. So she's looking for an appeals attorney. Is that what she's attempting here potentially?
And then we'll just do $5,000 fundraisers or $10,000 fundraisers or whatever. We may just go ahead and
So she's already got an attorney on retainer. So I'm assuming she has to file. Huh. This is interesting. Right? SS, we need one. An appeals attorney is going to want $10K up front.
Just raise the full $30,000.
She's up to something here.
I'm not sure how that'll be, but the first initial payment is going to be, and we're going to.
I mean, she told us yesterday in the live stream we reviewed, well, night before last, in the live stream we reviewed, that her attorney told her not to talk about the judge or the county. Her attorney advised her that, and she flat out said, like, I don't listen to my attorney.
Going to need to raise it fairly quickly. It's going to be about $5,000. And like I said, we have a little over $2,000 in the coffer. So I think raising an additional $3,000 to get this attorney going is not going to be too bad. And then
but I thought you had a whole group of attorneys that you were consulting with.
Once we get him started, then we can do the big fundraiser and start. We'll have a little more breathing room to raise up the rest of the money. And I think that will be good. So we're going to do this. Who was that? Oh, thank you, Lisa. Betty is on the right side of all this mess. Thank you. God bless you. Oops, I'm trying to heart it and it keeps wanting me to.
Well, I would think the standard procedure right at this point in time, and again, I could be wrong on this, so don't take it as fact. This is just my speculation off of what I've read. The standard procedure would be to file an appeal of the orders of protection to the circuit court. And I think her attorney would be sufficient to do that, the attorney that she already has on file. I don't know if there's a way that they can just bypass that. Again, not a legal expert by any means over here, but it seems interesting to me that they're not even doing the proper procedure according to what I've read. Like, filing an appeal to the circuit court would be the next proper step. But she's like, nah, we're not doing that.
So what we'll end up doing is, I think the best way we're going to do this for everybody's peace of mind, which you guys know I do not like doing GoFundMe, but I think once we get a good number, we'll go ahead and do the GoFundMe. Then everybody.
But Helen, on a change of venue for a criminal case, wouldn't she have to, can they change venue on orders of like violations where she hasn't even been found? I don't know how that's all going to work.
Can see how much money was raised. They can have their own receipts and whatnot.
Interesting.
Because I don't want to be bothered with it. And I don't want people, I really don't care what the hate channels say. They're always going to say something nasty. So we're already expecting it. So I don't care. I don't
have anything nasty to say. I'm just enjoying watching the fall from grace. Truly. I like the front row seat you're giving us. Thank you. Thanks.
I don't care. This is for that community. This is for the benefit of that community and to right the wrong that community has done to me. And I can tell you that their politicians are acting in direct in opposite direction of their community, because I've spoken to a lot of their community. Even those easy yahoos that are running it don't know their ass from their elbow. But that's not my problem. My problem is their community has lost faith in them. And I hope that
their community has lost faith in them. Ma'am, you're not even a part of their community. What is going on with you is not affected anybody but you. And you're not a part of their community. You're an outsider that came from Florida to Tennessee. Helen, this is exactly what I read too. And I couldn't find anything that was what she was trying to allude to here. Sounds to me like they were trying to do some sort of appeal and she's needing a different attorney. I also wonder what her attorney has said after all of her videos and the court TV stuff that they did. I'm curious because Tony on the lab said that he was a part of the entire process with Beddy's case.
That is, but see, with Eric, it's not going to really matter because nobody is running against him. So what's going to end up happening is, because there's nothing worse than a scorned woman, right? Eric Craddock.
We know, Beddy, you showed us that too. You've showed us that you were really scorned with JLR.
Might be elected in this one, but I can guarantee in 4 years, he will not be that sheriff. How do I know that? Because they just picked a scab with me and I will be in there interviewing people to be the sheriff. I will get them the.
Wait, what? Didn't she also claim that she got Chief Hadley fired in Georgia? Oh, Beddy. Oh, Beddy's going to be interviewing potential candidates.
And the money and the support that they need politically to run for sheriff against Eric Craddock. And yes, I have the ability to do that, have done that all over the country prior to me ever doing true crime.
Right, because you're a political activist. We get it.
prior to me ever doing true crime. And I will find a very conservative, since it's a conservative area, find them a great conservative person that they can be proud of.
Betty's on the prowl. She's going to find the next sheriff of Sumner County.
It doesn't bow and bow down to the swamp. If you want to drain the swamp, it means that the voters in that area need to step up to the plate and drain the swamp. You see what is going on here.
Yeah, we see that you're having a fit. We do. We see that you went to from Florida to Tennessee to stalk and harass the parents of a missing child, that you have repercussions for your behaviors and you're having a fit about it. That's what we see, Betty. You recorded it for all of us to watch along the way. Thank you, I guess. Thank you for front row seats to your downfall. I don't know. I guess we should all be thanking you.
You see that somebody can just have a privilege and name and can literally, a child disappear and they can throw their opposition in jail. That is disgusting to me.
What's disgusting to me is their name isn't even influential in the area. What's disgusting to me is you were actually picked up in another county and then transported because of a violation. Betty. Oh,
that
Betty.
has got to be nipped in the bud. That has got to be challenged. We don't have the luxury of walking away because of the precedent that they're setting for their community. I'm gone, right? I was there for 3 days. That was it. I'm gone. It's not like I have to deal with their laws. It's their community that has to deal with their laws. It's the community that's going to be railroaded from them. It's their own people, their own taxpayers that are being railroaded when I'm not there.
Hold on. Hold up. I just had a thought. Wouldn't she file indigent? Indigent? I just said that all fucking wrong. Told you I'm not a legal eagle beagle like Betty. I don't have a assholes anonymous in paralegal studies. Let's not even try that. But wouldn't she? Can she do that out of state? Huh. I got questions on all this shit now.
We need to put a nip in the bud for all of it, for all of them. And I do believe we have a great team in place. And I do believe that we are going to move mountains. I believe that because I'm calm.
You're calm, ma'am?
We are a very religious channel over here, a very loud channel. We'll tell
faith manipulation.
Somebody to get bent real quick. But at the end of the day, we love God.
We are religious. We are a religious channel, but we will tell somebody to get bent.
And we love our people. All the people. And right now we have a child missing in a county that keeps screaming from the rooftops, nothing to see over here. I'm saying bullshit. There's a lot to see. We're not sweeping this under the rug. As a matter of fact, we're taking that rug and rolling it up and pitching it in the freaking garbage. Because I'm telling you, all the trash is about to be revealed. All of it. Every bit of it. And it needs to be. So once I get some direction, I'll let you guys know what I need. But I just want to thank you for those that can afford it. Keep, bringing those Cash Apps, Venmos, and PayPals. They're just staying in that account until we need to move it over. But we are going to be running a major campaign on GoFundMe so everybody can have their ideas of what needs to be done, how much money how much money we need, how much money has been collected. So there's receipts, because I don't want to sit here and have to do this. You guys know I'm not a receipts person.
I'm not a receipts person. Thank you for admitting that. True, Mr. Tomato Head. It fits both ways. Hold on though. She just admitted she's not a receipts person. Betty, we know this. We know you can't even keep up with your own lies at this point. It's like, we know.
So I think this kills two birds with one stone. And as soon as we have it done, we will roll it out and let you guys know how to support this measure. I just want to thank everybody that has been supporting. We've got some great support on here. We've been going through a lot, and a lot of people have stepped up to the plate.
We. I mean, she is a part of the team that they try to separate, but then they screwed that all up by saying she's part of the team.
Right. to make it easier on me. Because let's face it, I mean, I don't really, these platforms don't produce a lot. We don't do a whole lot in super chats and super stickers. It's mostly advertisement revenue, which is why it's so important for me to make sure that, you know, that we don't cuss on here over, you know, too much, because they'll take your advertisement stuff away and things of that nature. So I want to keep it clean. We want to keep it, you know, PG-13. We don't want to make it an R-rated, you know, channel for avocation of these.
Then stop lowering your camera. That should be for feetfarmers.com, Betty.
Victims of crime. But we do need to make sure that that we take care of this. I don't know what would have happened had
This is the emotional manipulation of her subs that they're trying to silence us. They're trying to silence Seth. Meanwhile, it's all about Betty and Betty's behavior, but she's lumping everything together. So people are emotionally pulled, thinking that this somehow affects Sebastian's disappearance, or that they're trying to silence Seth. This is the art of circle talk and confusion and distractions. So people don't see what's coming or going, and they can't separate the two, and they just feel bad for the entire situation, and they open up their wallets and send money. That's all this is.
Had it been any other creator other than me, I don't think we would be able, like, let's face it, the county has decided to wage war on the First Amendment. Okay, there's no other way to explain it other than that. They tried to wage.
Okay, where's my First Amendment, people? The county has decided to wage war against the First Amendment. Can anybody enlighten me how this is a war on the First Amendment? Betty getting restraining orders has nothing to do with the First Amendment. Her actions and her behavior of harassing and stalking a victim's family is not infringing on her First Amendment rights. There is laws in place. She's not gagged. She is restrained from stalking and harassing the family.
War on the First Amendment. Well, there's no other person to wage war on the First Amendment than a political activist, a conservative political activist that absolutely believes in our Constitution and what it means for each of and every one of us, that has had a legal background, that understands the true gravity of what is being done here. And there is no way in hell I'm leaving that county with this horrible ruling on its plate, even if it costs us $30,000 to undo the damage that.
I can't even pronounce all the legal words, and I make more sense at times with my mispronunciations of the legal words than Betty does with her legal knowledge. Take that one, Betty.
The sheriff and this judge has done to their own community. We will unwind it. We will fix it. It's just going to be an uphill battle until we get this out of this county. It's got to get out of this county. Nobody's going to be treated fair in this county because they are clearly corrupt. You got detectives lying on affidavits. You got people doing bunk protective orders that when I'm not even their family and never threatened their life. And you got a judge co-signing all of it. If that's not freaking corruption, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. But we got damn good platforms here. And you know what? We have more members of the coffee club and the Bullhorn Betty. We have more subscribers than their local media. And that might piss them off a little bit. But I got to tell you, I do lean on their local media to help out. There is at least one media channel that I absolutely highly respect. I will tell you that. Hey, April. It's nice to see you. Thank you. Well, we're standing our ground. Believe that. Believe that. We're standing our ground because let's face it, they pissed me off, right? They have pissed me slap off because they violated my rights, and I'm angry about that because I have never believed in a million years. No offense to my Democrats in here, but let's face it, I believed I would have been treated like this in a Democrat area before ever a conservative area. You guys have to agree on that. I'm sure you guys would believe that too.
She's got to make it a political divide, though, because that is where the temperature has been raised in society right now. So in my opinion, she has to try to market that divide for her own bullshit right here. That's all she's going to try to do, when in reality, it has nothing to do with it. But this is how she's going to try to push her propaganda and the poor me thing.
But for me to be treated like this by my own people, oh, hell no, I'm a scrapper. We're going to court. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's where's the dotted lines? How much is this going to cost at this point? It's not a very comfortable place for me to be at all. But this is something we cannot stand by and allow happen, you know? So, all right, guys, that's all I've got for today. We're here to advocate for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. I'm going to have to do a thumbnail. I haven't done thumbnails in forever. It's just so hard to down when you don't have good internet, like hotspots. What is that? Like 10 gigs? I don't even know what it is, but it's hard to download and upload stuff. I promise you guys, when you have no good internet, it's hard to download. That's why I can only go live. I can't even produce a video. It would take 3 days to upload it on the internet that we've got right now. This is like the best I can do. It's either this with a hotspot or out in the car. That's the internet for us.
Oh, poor Betty. Even the internet's tapping out on her. They've just said, nah, The wires are too clogged today for you.
So you got me inside on the hotspot, which may, it may flutter a little bit because it's like another cell service, but I got it over there by the window. It was the only place in this entire house that actually got bars. So I stuck it there. You should have seen me. I'm like, well, I get 3 bars if it's up here. I get 2 bars if it's down here. Mom, do something to stand it up on.
Mom, the internet's not working. Oh my God. Did she just really do that? Betty. Oh, Betty. Mom, can you heat me up a Hot Pocket?
Cell service, but I got it over there by the window. It was the only place in this entire house that actually got bars. So I stuck it there. You should have seen me. I'm like, well, I get 3 bars if it's up here. I get 2 bars if it's down here. Mom, do something to stand it up on. Then she gets it up. I'm like, damn, I went to 1 bar. I'm like, damn, let's put it down. Then you go, don't move, don't breathe. It's got the 3 bars. Don't breathe. Don't move.
Sorry, guys. I'm enjoying watching this unraveling a lot.
Mom, don't get the vacuum cleaner near there. It's going to ruin the... However, the fight plays into their hands. In my opinion, it takes the focus off Sebastian away. That's why we're not going to stop. That's why we're not going to stop talking about them, because this is what they want. This is exactly what they want. You are absolutely right about that. They want to take it off of them because these parents don't want him found.
That has not. No, that's not. All 3 of the parents want Sebastian found. Let's just stop the bullshit. That has not ever been the case. All 3 of them, in my opinion, desperately want Sebastian found. Their behaviors, you can question that. But I truly do not believe, and we don't have any evidence to prove that any of them are involved in his disappearance. There's nothing been stated by law enforcement. There's no evidence to prove otherwise. And there's nothing to state that they don't want their son found. None of them. All 3 of them. Seth, Katie, or Chris.
Mommy Dearest doesn't want him found. Did you see that big old smiling pork? Go look at it. Grandma, back in the back, cackling. These people are insane. And you know what? Their politicians are bought and paid for, so they can do whatever the hell they want. It's a disgusting situation.
My God, that family has a private 747 jet, according to Nick and Hong. They have a cemetery, and now they have bought and paid for politicians. We didn't even know that we were in the midst of a whole RICO investigation, according to Beddy.
Again, we're here to drain the swamp, and that's exactly what I plan to do. So unfortunately, you're going to have, victim advocate Beddy and political Beddy. Okay, because I'm going to have to be. I'm making sure that this community might have to deal with this for 4 years, but I'm going to be working my ass off that they never have to deal with this after the 4 years. It's too late for me to do a whole lot before the election, but I will tell you, after this election, I'll be working overtime to make sure Eric Craddock no longer has a job in 4 years. And he can throw me in jail as many times as he wants to. It's still not going to change the fact that I'm going to be there. And if I have to move to that damn county to make sure it happens, that's exactly what I plan on doing. One thing that they don't understand is I own my home here.
Val, that's all she has. She has to use Sebastian and a missing child to emotionally manipulate her audience to confuse everything and think that for some reason, because Beddy is being held accountable for her actions, that it somehow ripple effects to Seth, and they're trying to silence Seth. And that's the whole intent of this next plan, is to cause chaos and confusion for people to think that because Beddy is being held accountable, it impacts Seth, when in reality, it doesn't. Seth has never been silenced. He doesn't have any court orders against him. In fact, he was the one that sent the first 6 cease and desists. But they've got to do this so they can maneuver for legal fees, because Beddy got herself into a sling. But if they're not careful, they tried to distance themselves on court TV the other night in the interview and say that, she has her team, they have their team. And then on the lab interview, Tony states numerous times that she was a part of their team. And Beddy even stated in her interview following up after the court TV stuff that, well, Tony's going to bust in here and muzzle me. And I don't have my notes right here, but I was supposed to say something. They're all working together. And if they're not careful, there could be, I don't know how it's going to work out, but I have a feeling that there could be some third party involvement here if people don't slow down some.
They're free and clear. Okay.
That is my opinion, not legal knowledge.
To go and rent someplace in Tennessee won't be no hair off my butt. Besides that, the rental is a hell of a lot cheaper there in Tennessee than it is here. I will become a resident of that county to make sure that sheriff never, in history, after these 4 years, will ever be a sheriff in that county again or ever treat another person like that. I will be there to drain the swamp. Won't be the first time or the first county I've done it.
Beddy for sheriff. That's going to be the next campaign. Oh, this might be the next. Are you going to do what JLR did from behind bars? I'm just asking for a friend, because you still have 6 violations coming up that you have to face.
Maybe they should have done.
You might become a resident of that county, but And a 4x4 cell. I mean, truly. Consequences of your actions.
A little more opposition research before they decided to poke the bear. Just saying, because I'll do it all legally and lawfully. And like I said, when I was very angry, there's not going to be a damn thing that they can do about it. Not their judge, not their police. Why? Because I don't break the law. And you cannot
Well, if she moves in with Seth, he's in Clarksville. Isn't that a different county altogether?
put somebody under the jail that hasn't broken the law. Now, you might be slick and shady and corrupt and make things up or bend the law as you see fit to try to get those things done, but it doesn't make it lawful or legal.
I don't believe that she is dating Seth. I truly don't believe that. There would have to be some hefty proof. They also said that Sonia was dating Seth before too. People in the rumor mills. I don't think that there's anything behind that. People just get crazy with what they say out here.
What they're doing to me is unconstitutional and is not legal. That's why I say they're no different than the criminals they put in jail. So sue me. Oh, never mind. They got silver bracelets with my name on it. We'll be fine. All right, guys. Have a great day. God bless. Rock it out with your coffee beans out. If you see something, say something. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And until next time, please be safe. But more importantly, be kind to one another. Rock it out. Oh, don't leave just yet. I want to thank all the beautiful people in here that donated. Because I might have missed. Oh, look at I missed a lot. Holly says happy Monday. Oh, Melanie, thank you for the cup of coffee. Nick, thank you so much for that. Hugs to everybody. By the way, happy Thanksgiving to all the Canadians. It's nice to see you guys. My what do we call you guys? Snowbirds? Actually, we should call you guys icebergs because don't you guys live in ice? I heard it's like cold like 6 months out of the year. I could be wrong. Maybe that's parts of it. I don't know.
What? You don't know geography either, Betty.
I don't know. Robin, it's nice. Oh, welcome to the family, Robin. I know you've been part of the family for a while, but it's official. Welcome to the fam, this crazy family we call the Coffee Club. Miss Lee, mom of 3, you're so beautiful. Give the babies hugs and kisses for me. Libby became one of the newest members of the.
Did you guys all see the people that are in the chat right now? Some of you guys watched it with me and Chico last night. But did you guys see where she claims that they have found missing people? She took credit for actually finding missing people. What? She is so delusional right now.
Coffee Club, welcome to the crazy family. All right. Lisa says Betty is on the right side of all this mess. Thank you so much. Coming soon, Tracy. It's nice to see you. Our beautiful Kelly, the OG, says I'm down to help any way I can. We got you. Thank you, Kelly. And April says you are amazing and all you do, stand your ground. Thank you guys so very much. I want you all to have an amazing and blessed day. I'm going to continue to come on here and talk about some things. We are going to segue to some. We do have a couple of Leilani Simon. It's obviously today's her first trial. If you guys know, I'm wearing the shirt that was made for that. It's Teen Quentin. I don't know if you guys can see that. Teen Quentin. And it says, Mommy, why?
Leave it alone. Just leave it alone. You've caused enough destruction there.
Wasn't I good enough? And every chance I get, I wear this shirt here in Sumner County as well, because I want to make sure if I am seen in that county, people see that because it goes for all.
Blatant lies. Complete blatant lies. Val, yeah, when I heard that, I was like, who? She can't name them, but she claims it.
All of our babies that are abused and harmed by their parents, all of them. I know at least 3 of them right now. Summer Wells, Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers.
There's no proof that Sebastian was abused by his parents whatsoever. There's allegations, but there's no factual information to state that that is true. Nobody knows where Sebastian is or what happened to Sebastian at this point in time. Law enforcement is investigating the case. Summer Wells, this is just...
As well as Quentin Simon, that appear to have lost their life at the hands of their parents. One or all, or some, right? And that's kind of where we are. Chex Mix, bold, awesome. I told you guys the recipe my mom put together yesterday. It's like 3/4 of one of these bags. This bag is 8 ounces. So 3/4 of that bag, a whole package of emerald nuts that she used the honey, I think it's the honey nut or honey glazed, not pecans, cashews, honey glazed cashews. And then she took like, those little fun size bars. She had the crunch bars, the ones that you hand out during Halloween. And that
reminds me, Duchess, if you're still listening, I need to send you that recipe.
And she had like 4 of those and chopped those up and threw those in there. And I got to tell you, that was one of the best Chex Mix I think I've ever tasted. Now, this bag from Publix cost about $4.99 or no, $3.99. Her nuts cost $4.49. So you already have $7. But it was spread around for 3 people. So it was good. It was really, really tasty. And I got to tell you, you're not going to buy a bag of that in the store. And it was the best, I think, the best type of trail mix I've had in a really, really long time. And you didn't even need to cook it or bake it or anything.
If you want a better recipe, hit me up. I got a great one.
You just threw that in with that, and then you just mixed it all up with your hands, and the trail mix was done. It was good. It was Mom, you didn't hear this because I cleaned it up, but I got a little chocolate.
Cash. Goodness, Cash, it's almost been 2 years. Oh, you suffered with me for 2 years, Cash. And I agree. Kiki is a Beddy clone. He is so entitled.
On your bed last night, but I got up in the middle of the night and realized it was there because Delilah was kind of licking it. And then I realized it must have been a crown that melted. And then I got up and got my washcloth and I cleaned it up really good so you didn't even notice it. And I promise that's not why I made the bed. Just saying. Hey, the real me too. It's nice to see you. Oh, nice to see you. Delilah's out there with Mama Bullhorn with Gamsies. With Gamsies. She's out there with Gamsies. All right, guys. You guys have a great day. God bless you. We're going to get back to this. We're going to get back to avocation. We're going to get back to the maps. We're going to get back to tracking the leads. Tracking the leads. So we'll be doing that. We'll also be like busted.
Tracking what leads? Silvers? Silvers?
You know? My mom just changed the sheets on here and I woke up and I rolled over. I'm like, what is that? And then you've seen Delilah go. I'm like, oh shit. Mom wasn't in here, so I go in there and I took my washcloth. I got on the bed, started scrubbing it. Get out of here! I got it out. I got it out because that's why Mommy didn't see it. I did get it out, but I was panicking. If you guys know my
That's why Mommy didn't see it.
my mom's like white glove clean, so it's like she would freaking be twisted. She ripped the whole bed apart because it's got a little crumb on it. She just washed the sheets. I did bust myself. My mom's gonna be in here checking the bed. She's gonna be pulling the cameras back and like, what did you do to my sheet? I don't have this problem at home. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm a slob. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. All right, guys, you take it for what you will. Enjoy your day. I'll talk to you soon. Rocking out with your coffee beans out. It is Manic Monday. I will try to be back this evening for a little bit if I can.
Oh, yay.
And when people get home, it makes the internet a little more unstable. Right now, it's not too bad.
I think it's you that's unstable, not the internet. I mean, that's just an observation from my uneducated opinion.
So we'll just bear with me. We do have, like the phone internet, but it's just not real internet. You can't really upload and download from the phone. Not an hour video. That's why I haven't been on TikTok because I always download those videos and put them on here. But it would literally take me 3 days right now to upload even a 30-minute video would probably take me all day to upload to this to YouTube. I mean, it's the internet situation here is bad. The gas situation here is bad. The damage to my county is extensive. I mean, it's bad. The airport lost part of its roof. Tropicana Fields, which is further north. Like this happened down south. This happened in my backyard, and Tropicana Fields lost their roof. If that doesn't tell you how powerful those winds are. And that was miles away from the eye. Miles. The eye was in my backyard. They're not in my backyard. They're 45 minutes away from my home.
I bet a chapter ass that JLR got that on camera when it was ripping apart.
Siesta Key is only like a 20-minute drive down the road. Tropicana Fields, on the other hand, is 45 minutes away from my home, and their whole freaking roof ripped off. We have extensive, and I'm talking extensive damages. Some of these mobile homes, we know that there were people that lost their life because they're too poor. They didn't have no means to get anywhere. And
so be grateful for what you have, your life.
Some of these mobile homes were leveled. Some of these buildings were leveled. We didn't have, thank God, we didn't have the huge storm surge, the 15-foot storm surge that we should have had. And that was because, from my understanding, it had something to do with the storm splitting. And so there was nothing really on the backside of that. I mean, we did have some water. Don't get me wrong. There was a storm surge, but not to the extent that we were anticipating it to be. So we'll see. Anyways, guys, you guys take care. I love you and God bless.
Oh, okay. Give me all your money. Miss Leah, love you too. Miss Leah was sending me videos during the storm. Talk about insane. I was like, but I was so glad that they were safe. So glad. Revival, it's insane. This is just wild. This is interesting though to see what they're pushing now and to watch them put their next plan of action together. So I think we're going to see some interesting narratives being pushed. They're actually circling back around to the beginning and starting things that they had let go of. We have mentioned the fact that they were pushing really heavy on clearing Seth Rogers. And then that was another one that they completely stopped. And now we're back to it again. So they're trying to mix Sebastian and Seth into what Beddy has done. Completely separate situations, but she needs to be able to use Seth and Sebastian for financial support. Without that, if Beddy just has to say, hey guys, I got myself in a sling. These are my behaviors I'm being held accountable for. She ain't going to get the financial support. So instead, she has to use Sebastian and Seth to do it all. But what's also interesting is she's supposedly a part of this team They supposedly have attorneys that represent by proxy these teams, hence they're out of PA. But she talked about how, she was consulting with all these attorneys. Now she needs $5,000 for a retainer for another attorney. She already retained one in Tennessee. They're not taking the standard procedure of appealing to the circuit court. This is all weird. All of it's weird. There's a lot of movements going along. There's a lot of rehashing and restarting narratives. Nobody is trying to silence Seth. Nobody is saying that Seth doesn't have the right to be angry, upset. His behavior, what he is saying, the accusations, in my opinion, are disgusting. Not helpful whatsoever. Can I also still empathize with the fact that he is the father of a missing child? Absolutely. But the incitement is becoming dangerous. What Beddy did, and now the fallout from that, and people amping up and inciting further stuff, is extremely dangerous. Meanwhile, Sebastian is still missing. But they're mixing it all into this one thing, and it's just absolutely insane. Yeah, any of your guys' ending thoughts on this? Anybody have any thoughts that they... Let me go up here and read some of these. Miss Leah, you've been stuck with me for 20 months too. Look at you guys go. Her poor mother. Well, I think her mom instigates quite a bit of this, to be honest. But what she said about Duty Run is completely ridiculous. She is very triggered that a professional, a well-respected true crime creator, somebody that's actually true crime, professionalism, great connections, spoke out against what they do. Because here's the thing. This gives all of the people who have integrity, morals, ethical boundaries a bad name. Because these creators stand for victims and their families. Nothing that Beddy and other people like her do. She is a very lonely soul. I agree with that. She didn't. OG, nope, not yet. She'll take credit for that too. This is just wild, though. Desperate times, desperate measures, absolutely. Escalating and escalating as the demand for donuts multiplies exponentially. Be legend, absolutely. They have to use it. Yeah, and the whole First Amendment argument is not valid. Mr. Tomato Head, were you here earlier? One of the creators, BJ, allegedly with BJ, started the rumor, or I don't know if somebody else started it earlier in the day, but I heard her saying that they thought he was incarcerated. Now, there is no proof of that whatsoever, so please understand that. We talked about that earlier too, but that is a rumor that their team is kicking off. Why? Especially with no proof. That's very interesting to me too. There's a lot of interesting movements if you watch it all. T-Rev coming back and throwing stuff in there too is very interesting. Who breaks Beddy? Snowflakes. Beddy does. Sorry, I'm reading your guys' comments before I get out of here. Hey, CK. Her mom backs her. Yep. Unfortunately, yeah. Yeah, at this point in time, Thor, it'll be interesting to see if there's more violations tacked on. Because I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here. Again, I'm not a legal nothing. So I just watch it all fall apart. Snipping, isn't that? It is. It's interesting. Natalie, I agree. She's an empty vessel. Well, Steph, I think Tony put the bond up for her bail, if I'm correct. So I don't know. Yeah, Mr. Tomato Head, that's what they're trying to kick off, but there's no proof of it whatsoever. I don't know why they're doing that. T-Rev's return, very self-serving in my opinion with T-Rev. I am going to do a segment on that. Oh yeah, Angel Chip Stelco, 100%. We've been kind of tracking some of the behaviors and the movements and the narratives that they've been running through. And we've almost like got to the point where we can almost not predict. I got my crystal ball out, my wonderful magic 8-ball, and it gives me the answers. I'm just joking, totally joking, but it's very consistent what they've done with the narratives and how they shove things out and how they push things and how they rotate through stuff. You can almost predict what's coming next. There's always these big amp ups. We also have the next, I think, ride in Clarksville coming up on November 9th, if that's still happening. I don't know if they're doing a fundraiser thing again for an animal shelter, what that will be. There was a lot of questions around that the last time. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to go, if Beddy plans on going to that, how that will all play out. But her next court date is November 20th. Very desperate, in my opinion. Yep. And you know what the sad thing is here, we always talk about this too. And I just want to reiterate this too, because I don't want people to think like I'm not against Seth personally. Like I have personal opinions on his behavior, but I don't know the man. He's a complete stranger. So at the same time that I can give empathy for the fact that he has a missing child, and I don't know, nor do I want to know how I would behave in that time in any way, shape, or form. I also see that the people that have surrounded him, that he is hand selected to be part of his team, have taken every opportunity, because they're opportunists, to exploit his emotions, amp him up, push him beyond his emotional capacity. And I think we're seeing a mixture of that. I think we're seeing a mixture of him and his need for control, because he always says, it's his team, it's his choices, it's his. Sorry, they're working on a roof over here. Yeah, Terry, it's nonsense. Hold on. Let me put it in the chat. I will check my emails today. I haven't checked them in at least a week. I haven't checked them since I left. There you go. Corrine, let me look. Nope, I don't have it. I'm looking on my phone. Don't have anything from you. Oh, I have one from another person. I'll get back to you. It's just nonsense on the web at gmail.com. Try resending it. I'll check. It's not my spam either. If you can't get it to go through, I can give you. Huh. I'm getting them from other people. I wonder why it's not working for you. That's weird. Yeah, it's all lowercase, I think. All of it. It shouldn't matter, though. I don't think. All right, y'all. I'm out of here. Yeah, try it again, and then let me know. You can make a comment, and I'll look for it and see if it went through. If I get it, I'll respond. I appreciate y'all for being here. We're going to try to get back into like the normal daytime lives. They'll be sporadic, but I'll probably try to go back to my Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and do some pre-records Tuesday, Thursday. I'm going to try to get back to a schedule now that things are we have a concert Wednesday night. And then after that, I think life should settle down again. Yeah. Thank you all for being here. And again, thank you to Duty Ron for popping by. I tried to keep my fangirling to a minimum, you guys. Anybody remember when we first learned of who Duty Ron was when I came on this app 2 years ago? I think that was from AM. We learned he was one of the first true crime creators, and I was like, oh my goodness, he's amazing. I really liked him. And I always like lurk over there, but every time I comment on somebody that's like a really good true crime creator, well, some of you sat in what's that guy's name? The Lore Lodge. I tried commenting one time in one of his live streams and people went sideways. So I just kind of keep myself out of that shit so I don't cause shit just by even appearing. But Duchess and I caused a ruckus over there by just commenting on the Lore Lodge. And that's not a credible one. Yes. And I'm positive it was you that taught me about Duty Ron. And I was like, oh, this is great. I really like Ed too. Ed is hysterical. And what they do with EquiSearch, like Great channels. If you're not subbed up, please go sub up. Thank you, Terry, for sharing that again. Of course, Ice, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. I hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you for all the support per usual. And I will see you guys around. Stay safe out there. Oh, Mr. Tomato Head. Oh, he doesn't know. Oh, that all happened because of Tony. Tony maneuvered that because of the JLR fallout. And then she got in really close. Oh, yeah. There's a lot there. Okay, perfect. I will check it and get back to you. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, you guys. See you soon. Duchess, drive safe. I'm sure you might already be there, but drive safe. Talk to you guys later. Bye.